ज्ञानदायिने प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्योज्वल प्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुग भक्तिदा श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुगा विरुद्ध प्रसिद्धांत ध्वांत हारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलंबर सांबोधे पादांबुजाय ते नमः। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगावराय ते गौरार्विभाव भूमिस्त्वं निर्देश सज्जन प्रियः वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतिसे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्त रूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं ताख्यं नमामि भक्त शक्तिकं। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांता नमस्तुते। जयतां सुरतौ पंगुर्मम मंदमतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्व पदाम्बोजौ राधा मदन मोहनो दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नागर सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद्राधशीलगोविन्ददेवौ प्रेष्ठलेभिसेव्यमानौ स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भि वंशी वटतटस्थितः कर्षन् वेणुस्वनिर्गोपिर्गोपीनाथाय श्रियस्तु न तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. Let us quickly recap what we covered in last 2 weeks. So let me share the slides with all of you. So we began our discussion, we began our unit from the preface. Okay. So in which we first of all discussed about the history of how this text was written. We discussed the Pranam mantra of Srila Rupa Goswami and about his glories and how he received in knowledge and instructions from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at the Ashwamedh Ghat at Prayagraj for 10 days, and how he elaborated those teachings in many scriptures, and specifically this Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Okay. We also discussed the 6 purposes of nectar of devotion that Srila Prabhupada writes in a preface. To make each of us Goswami, to explain Bhakti Rasa, we discussed about the difference between Bhakti Rasa and mundane Rasa. It stimulates original love in 5 different rasas and so on. And then we discussed about the title of this book, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. What is the meaning of the title? What is the meaning of Bhakti? What is the meaning of Rasa? What is the meaning of Amrit and Sindhu? Okay. And how this Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu is different from Bhautik Rasa. There's no Bhautik Rasa. It's very temporary and flickering. And it's not even a significant amount. It's like a just a tiny bit of a drop in a big desert. It's not satisfactory at all. But on the other hand, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, it's a Sindhu, it's an ocean of Amrit that is eternal and which tastes like nectar of rasa. Which rasa? Bhakti rasa. We also discuss, Ashila Prabhupada also discussed how this love has manifest into various ways, starting from body and how it expands onto family, to society, to nation, right? But the perfection is when this loving tendency is reposed in Krishna. So these are all the part of preface. Then we moved on to introduction. Our introduction was divided into three parts: Mangalacharan, contents and definition of pure devotional service. Mangalacharan consists of further three parts: objective of the book, obeisances and benediction. The objective, the target, the goal of this book is Akhila Rasamrit Murti, Krishna and Vrindavan, who is the attractor of gopis. And we discussed the first verse of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu in this context. And then how Srila Rupa Goswami is also paying obeisances to Lord Guru and Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas are compared to shark, and the benedictions is giving for studying nectar of devotion. So, yeah. Then we discussed something about the content and how this book was organized. These are all part of introduction only. Eastern, Southern, Western, Northern division, and Bhakti śāstrī, our current course, covers the Eastern division. Yeah, that's the structure of the book. And then we moved on to the definition of pure devotional service. Anya Bilashita Shunyam Gyan Karmadinavritam Anukulyana Krishnanu Shilanam Bhaktiruttama, wherein we discuss the Sarup Lakshan and Tatastha Lakshan. What were the Sarup Lakshan? Three Sarup Lakshan: Krishna, Anushilanam, and Anukulyana. And Tatastha Lakshan is Anya Bilashita Shunyam and Gyana Karmadinavritam. We discussed various examples in this context as well. Then the chapter 1. So introduction in chapter 1 consists the first leher, first wave of Eastern division. And the title of this chapter is Characteristics of Pure Devotional Service, wherein we discuss the 6 characteristics of devotional service: Kleshada, Shubda, Moksha, Laguta, Krit, Sudarlabha, Sandra, Anand, Visheshatma, and Akarshani, Krishna Akarshani. Relief from its evil distress, all auspicious. So then Srila Rupa Goswami discusses all of these one by one. It was also discussed the first two manifest at the level of sadhana, then the additional two manifest on the level of bhav, and then all 6 manifest on the level of prem. We discussed how the klesha agni, the agni of all the kleshas, we discussed the cycle of sin. The sin is the ignorance is the result of that klesha. And the solution is bhakti. How bhakti can negate, there's only and only bhakti can negate at all of these steps and from the root cause. Discussed about the solution at for each of them, what prarabdha, prarabdhijam, avidya. Then we discussed about all auspicious. What is all auspicious? How do you define an all auspicious? 3 characteristics: benefits, attracts everyone, develops saintly qualities, and superior kind of happiness. Then we discussed the 6 characteristics, right? Then chapter 2 began with sadhana bhakti, the definition of sadhana bhakti, the qualification of bhakti. Before sadhana bhakti, we discussed how a person takes up to Krishna consciousness, takes up to the process of bhakti. And then we discussed the definition of sadhana bhakti, wherein it's executed with mind and senses and reawakens ecstatic love of Godhead lying dormant within the heart of everyone. So, 2 types of sadhana, Vaidhi and Raganuga, and the difference between them. Then we discussed about what is Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, when there is no attachment or no spontaneous loving, and one is engaged in Lord service out of obedience to Guru Sadhu Shastra. So, thus, essence of the sadhana bhakti is to always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. That is the sum and substance. All the do's and don'ts are subservient to this principle. And Srila Rupa Goswami is providing evidence from Shastra for each of these definitions, each of these concepts. Then the chapter 3, we discussed about the eligibility of the candidate for accepting devotional service. Is there any prerequisite required? Or how does one take up the process of bhakti or sadhana bhakti to be specific? In this context, we also discussed about the Uttam, Madhyam and Kanishta Adhikari on the basis of their knowledge and faith in Shastra. So this was the part of discussion. What were the impediments for advancement? We also discussed how devotional service surpasses all liberation. That was a subject matter of complete chapter 4. And then we discussed about how to execute the service. Okay. Before that, we discussed about the purity of devotional service, the purification process, Varnashram Dharma Payas, but are they part of devotional service or no? And the conclusion was Bhakti is completely independent and itself is complete. So I mean, many concepts we discussed. Please go through all the quotations. I mean, if you have to study by yourself, just see, what kind of verses Srila Rupa Goswami is quoting from scriptures, what is being said on those verses, in which context those verses are being spoken, who is saying to whom. For that, you really need to sit and engage with the text. Then it will become even more clear. Yeah, then chapter 6 started with 64 practices of sadhana bhakti. The first 10, next 10, do's and don't, pravritti and nivritti, and 44 additional items of service. So we discussed various points of this through the chapters of Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. We discussed in the chapter 8 how the 19th item of offense, seva prad and nama prad. Then the importance of DT in sadhana. These are the points. Further consideration of devotional principles. Techniques of hearing and remembering. Meditation, aspects of transcendental service. And then the last 5, which was said to be the most potent one, and we discussed how Srila Prabhupada incorporated all of these in the package that he gave us. Chapter 13 dealt with 5 potent forms of devotional service. All of you know that. After discussing 64 limbs of devotional service, Srila Rupa Goswami discusses why certain items are there and certain items are not there. So we discussed about Varnashram, Gyan and Vairagya, and in Vairagya, the Yukta and Falgu Vairagya, wealth and followers, saintly qualities, right? And Navda Bhakti, how 64 items are expansion of Navda Bhakti. These are the acharyas of all the 9 forms of devotional service. And then the next type of sadhana bhakti we discussed about Raganuga sadhana. Under that, we first of all we discuss the concept of Ragatmika bhakti. Kama Rupa and Sambandhana Rupa Ragatmika bhakti. And then we discussed about Raganuga sadhana. Kamanuga and Sambandhanuga. Okay. Then chapter 17 dealt with the process of Bhav Bhakti. The definition of Bhav from Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is the verse from Bhakti Rasamrita that is quoted. My devotional service is situated on transcendental platform of Shuddha Sattva. It is like a ray of sunlight of love for Krishna. It causes the heart to be softened by various tastes, and one is then situated on Bhava emotion. We discuss the Sarup Lakshan and the Das Lakshan. The Shuddha Sattva, that's the primary characteristic, and softening of heart and giving rise to various tastes is the secondary characteristic. And then we discussed about what are those tastes. Desire to achieve Krishna, to please Krishna through various services, and to be close at heart with Krishna. How is Bhava Bhakti different from Sadhana Bhakti? What is the nature of Bhav? How Bhav is achieved through sadhana and through special mercy? How that mercy is achieved through three ways? All the different, the discussions under these topics. And then the 9 characteristics of Bhav Bhakti, 9 symptoms of Bhav Bhakti, the reliable symptoms that Acharya says. And this we discussed yesterday. Resemblance with Bhav symptoms. What are they? The 2 kinds. And an attitude towards seeing fault in devotees. How do we handle that? How do we take care of that? And finally, chapter 9 dealt with the Prema Bhakti, the definition. When that Bhav softens the heart completely, becomes endowed with a great feeling of possessiveness in relation to the Lord, and becomes very much condensed and intensified, it is called Prema. The primary characteristic, it is the intensified, fully natural state of Bhav, and the secondary characteristics. Yeah. So we discussed 2 types of Prema. One is mixed with Mahatmya Gyan, and one is Kevala Prema, which is achieved through Raganuga Sadhana. So the different stages of devotional service ultimately are going to the Prema. Okay. So yeah, that were the various subject matters that we covered during our journey. So if there is anything you want me to repeat, is there anything you want to discuss from whatever we have covered so far? Anything that is not clear you want to inquire further? We can all discuss those things now. So yes, Ananta Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I want more clarification on Raga. The 2 types of Raganuga, Ragatmika and Raganuga. And among Raganuga, there are, I think, 2 divisions you just mentioned. So can you little bit elaborate on this?
So Ragatmika Bhakti is what is found in the eternal residence of Vrindavan. That is Ragatmika. When someone who manifests complete, pure, spontaneous attachment to Krishna. So just like Mother Yashoda is there, Nanda Maharaj is there. So all these devotees who have their perfect love for Krishna and fully spontaneous one, which is not mixed with Mahatmya Gyan. It is not by awe and reverence. They are the love that is found in Braj Bhumi, Golok Vrindavan. So that kind of bhakti which the Brajvasis manifest towards Krishna, which is completely free from any sense of awe and reverence, which is fully based upon intimacy and pure spontaneity, that is Ragatmika Bhakti. Raganuga is when a devotee aspires to follow in the footstep of a particular Ragatmika Bhakta and wish to inculcate the similar mood and the similar kind of service following in their footsteps. That is Raganuga. And the 2 divisions of Raganuga is Kamanuga and Sambandhanuga. So Sambandhanuga is Dasya, Sakhya, and Vatsalya. And Srila Rupa Goswami kept one particular Sambandha as a separate category. That is for conjugal, just like the love of gopis that have for Krishna, just to emphasize its importance, its glories and importance. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Rati. Thank you so much.
Okay. Any other? You can unmute yourself and share anything.
Guruji, I have a question from chapter 9. It is like further considerations of devotional principles. Here, elaboration on various items like japa, seeing the deity, going to temple, circumambulating. The description is given here. Chapter 9.
Chapter 9. Okay, what is your question?
So your question is, all the items which I read, like singing, seeing the deity, going to temple, circumambulating, paying obeisances, in all the items, I mean, one thing is common here, that the author says, even if we do that limb, even once, even once someone is paying obeisances to the Lord, once he is seeing the deity or chanting in front of it, the result is that he'll achieve the perfection stage, the stage of perfection he will achieve. But at the same time, we know from Prabhupada that until unless one achieves pure love, he cannot go back to Godhead or achieve the highest thing. So what I did not understand is that how that when a person is just paying obeisance once, how he is achieving the highest stage.
Okay, thank you. So who would like to answer Rishabh Prabhu's question? We discussed that. Who remembers? Who would like to answer or respond to Rishabh Prabhu's question before we read directly from the book where Prabhupada is explaining this point? I want to ask all of you. Yes, Jonika Mataji, your hand is up. How would you respond?
My hand is up for my own query, Prabhuji.
Okay. Anyone who can unmute yourself who would like to respond to Rishabh Prabhu's. Prabhu is asking, Srila Rupa Goswami is again and again mentioning that even if you do it once, it is giving example that devotee attained perfection. But as we know, till the time we inculcate bhav, that perfection, where is it? We are paying obeisances so many times, why it's not appearing to us? And it appeared to. So what Srila Rupa Goswami is writing, is it exaggeration? Is it incorrect version? Or it happens only with some selected devotees? Why? How do we understand that? Ananda Mataji, want to answer? Your hand is up, or you also have a question?
No, Prabhuji, I will just try. Actually, I remember yesterday and also in one of the classes you mentioned, and it's written in the book also, that maybe sometimes we see that a person has joined very newly and they progress so fast in compared to the other members of the class. So that maybe this maybe due to the reason that that person has left Krishna consciousness at that stage in his or her previous life. So
Okay, that
that's
is
what.
relation to bhav. Okay, that is different.
Okay.
That wasn't.
I just try.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's a good try. Wonderful. Okay, any other?
I want to
Kanchan?
talk. Yes. Prabhuji, in another chapters, Prabhupada has written that it is not exaggeration, it is given in scriptures that there have been many devotees who have attained perfection through single processes, like the Chatush Kumaras, 4 Kumaras, they just smelled the tulsi leaves offered at the lotus feet of Lord and they attained perfection. And Bilva Mangal Thakur's example is given, and we have other examples too.
Okay. So open chapter 13. Okay. So the chapter 13, paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, let me share. Mr. Prabhu, you need to read this. Okay, read this paragraph. This contains the answer to your question. Please read it aloud.
Okay. In these statements about devotional service, sometimes it may appear that the results have been overestimated, but actually there is no overestimation. Some devotees, as revealed scriptures give evidence, have had immediate results by such association, although this is not possible for all. For example, the Kumaras immediately became devotees simply by smelling the incense in the temple. Vilomangal Thakur simply heard about Krishna and then immediately gave up his beautiful girlfriend and started out from Mathura and Vrindavan, where he became a perfect Vaishnava. So these statements are not overestimation, nor are they stories. They are actual facts, but are true for certain devotees and do not necessarily apply to all. These descriptions, even if considered overestimations, must be taken as they are in order to divert our attention from the fleeting material beauty to the eternal beauty of Krishna consciousness. And for a person who is already in contact with Krishna consciousness, the described results are not unusual.
Okay, does this answer your question?
Yes, Puji.
So these are not overestimation, yet they are historical facts, and they are basically meant to describe the potential of that limb of devotional service in giving the bhav to the practitioner. So in the past, certain devotees have had those symptoms of bhavs immediately by execution of those limbs. However, this may not be possible for all. Okay. They are actual facts, true for certain devotees, and do not necessarily apply to all. So the thing is, we need to keep doing that and strive to come on a level of where we are doing this entire process offenselessly. And in due course of time, those symptoms of bhav will manifest.
Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna, just the addendum to this question. Why was it possible for those, like what specific measure that caused it to be possible?
One is when they are done offenselessly. Second, the limb of devotional service in itself is so potent and powerful that it acted immediately. Thirdly, maybe those devotees were advanced already from their previous devotional service, and all they needed was just a contact with one of the limbs. So it depends from the case to case. But they are historical fact and certainly happened, and that's why they are in Shastra. Which means that under these limbs that Srila Rupa Goswami is describing under the Vedic sadhana bhakti, each of these limb is fully competent and has the full potential to award bhav bhakti. These are the proof. Yes, this has happened in the past.
Thank you.
Okay, Jonika Madhuri.
Hi Krishna Prajit Anupram. Prabhuji, I have a question from the limbs in which there is mention worshipping sacred trees like banyan and amlaki. So I rarely, I have never seen devotees worshipping this tree. So can you please give brief description about it?
Okay, sure. Who would like to respond to Janika Maharaj's question? Please respond. We discussed that in detail. Yes, Kanchan Vandarangi Mataji.
Hi, Krishna Maharaj. I also asked this question, so I remember. You stated that in Acharya's commentaries, they have noted the point that why these trees are worshipable. Basically, it comes to the point that all living entities are worshipable. So why not banyan tree? So this was the gist that I remember from.
Okay, that's one reason that Acharyas gave. Srilaji Goswami gives. So I'll read you directly from the commentary, just a second in relation to that point. So one reason is that those trees are in some shastras said to be the representative of Lord Vishnu. Second, it is said that one must not respect only banyan tree, but all living entities who serve the Lord and his devotees. So such living entities include Tulsi, Brahmanas, and cows. Now, third reason that Srila Goswami writes in his commentary that Lord Gopal is pleased when the cows are nicely cared for. And then he's citing Gautamiya Tantra describing how one should gently scratch the body of the cow, offer her a handful of green grass, and reverentially circumambulate with one's right side kept towards her. Another, if devotees may not do it because Srila Prabhupada did not emphasize it, it didn't give it much. Yeah, he specifically asked us to worship Tulsi. And but Srila Rupa Goswami is giving, if someone wants to do that, we can do that. There's no harm. That's also a lamp of devotional service.
Okay, Prabhuji, nearby my home, there is a temple, there is a banyan tree. So can I start giving water or can I worship?
Why not? Only thing is, we don't hear that Srila Prabhupada specifically asked devotees to do that. Already, whatever he has given, we can do that. I mean, if you focus on that, if you're worshipping Tulsi, if you're worshipping the deities, and
Yes,
Srila
Prabhuji.
Goswami is specifically writing about Tulsi, Brahmanan, and cows, and to serve living entities who serve the Lord and his devotees.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, other questions?
Prabhuji,
Yeah,
in chapter 5, the purity of devotional service, it is
yeah.
written devotional service is transcendental and has no cause. But at the same time, we discussed that there is an eligibility for devotional service, that one has some attraction or shraddha. And we also read in Bhagavad Gita, no? Sukritino, that shloka, that one needs some pious credits or bhakti punya to start executing or come to devotional service. How we understand this?
Yes, very good question. I would like to ask devotees first. Who would like to respond to Rishabh Prabhu's question? Can you read that exact statement from chapter 5?
Yes, Prabhu. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, devotional service is transcendental and has no cause. First paragraph of chapter 5. Devotional service is executed without any hope for gain, and it cannot be checked by any material circumstance. It is open for all, without any distinction, and is the constitutional occupation of the living entities.
Yes. So on one side, this is written, and on the other side, we are discussing the eligibility for executing devotional service. How come devotional service has no cause? And on the other side, we are discussing about the eligibility of someone who comes to Bhakti Yoga, who takes up to devotional service. How they both exist at the same time. So yes, I would like to ask all of you. Please try someone who has not spoken so far. Would like to hear from John Gurung Prabhu. We did not hear your voice throughout the course. Are you there? Please share something. Please give us your darshan at least once. Today is the last day to have your darshan. John Prabhu, any thoughts about this in answer to this question? Anyone would like to try? Other devotees?
Prabhuji, can I try? I'm not
Yeah.
sure, but I would try. When it is said it is causeless, that means devotional service has no prerequisite. Like it's not that you have to be like you have to be a brahmana, or you have to be a kind of a sannyasi, or you have to be born in a particular place, or you have to be in a male body, female body. There is, or you have to have gyan, vairagya, you have to have charity, pious credits. That is not the qualification for bhakti. So simply it is said causeless because they are not the requisites, and it's causeless because we are not qualified, but we get the mercy. And how we get the mercy is simply that if we are in contact with some devotee, or we get some kind of an kind of a agya sukriti, which we don't know how come we get it. Matlab, even if we, like in a Rath Yatra, we touch the rope, we have the darshan, we hear the holy name, we help a devotee in any way. So simply we get that agya sukriti, and that is kind of, it becomes the eligibility that we enter into devotional circle, or we have attraction towards the Lord. So it is not like some prerequisite is there, and which make simply you do devotion in even in unknown way, and you simply get the mercy, which is very close. Even we are not eligible, still we get that mercy, and we get attraction to the Lord.
Okay, yes, thank you. Very nice. So yes, the same thing what Vrindavan Vasi Prabhu is saying, exactly that there is no material cause. There is no cause outside of bhakti. Bhakti itself is a cause of bhakti. And that is why you will see the next line. If you read, it cannot be checked by any material circumstances. Why? Because there is no material cause of bhakti. So it cannot be checked by material circumstances also. So there is no cause of bhakti outside the realm of bhakti. It is not that some pious activities were the cause of bhakti. It is not that some sort of tapasya was the cause of bhakti. It is not that some sort of varna and ashram are the cause of bhakti. What is the cause? There is no cause. There is causeless. That means there is no cause outside the school of bhakti. Only bhakti causes bhakti. So you're doing the chanting. What is the result of chanting? More chanting. There's no other. If you're If we're genuinely serving Krishna, the actual result of serving Krishna is desire to serve more. Right?
So, Prabhuji, when we say that verse comes in Bhagavad Gita, Jana Sukritin Arjuna, that only the pious persons comes to me. So, how we understand that where there Krishna doesn't say that the Dushkritana doesn't come to me, but only pious comes to me. So, pious activity helps one to come to Krishna.
Yes. So we specifically discussed this point in chapter. Okay. Let us read what Rupa Goswami is writing. This is in chapter number 3.
Chapter 3.
So let us read the exact answer to your question from chapter 3. So you see, when after discussing the Uttam, Madhyam and Kanishta Adhikari, Srila Prabhupada discussed, Rupa Goswami discussed the 4 types of pious people who approach Krishna, without faith in the objective. So for please read this paragraph.
Further classification of the neophyte devotee is made in the Bhagavad Gita. It is stated there that 4 classes of men, namely those who are distressed, those who are in need of money, those who are inquisitive, and those who are wise, begin devotional service and come to the Lord for relief in the matter of their respective self-satisfaction. They go into some place of worship and pray to God for mitigation of material distress or for some economic development or to satisfy their inquisitiveness. And a wise man who simply realizes the greatness of God is also counted among the neophytes. Such beginners can be elevated to the second class or first class platform if they associate with pure devotees.
And now read this.
These 4 type of devotees have been described in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and they have all been accepted as pious. Without becoming pious, no one come to devotional service. It is explained in Bhagavad Gita that only one who has continually executed pious activities and whose sinful reactions in life have completely stopped can take to Krishna consciousness, others cannot. The neophyte devotees are classified into 4 groups: the distressed, those in need of money, the inquisitiveness, and the wise, according to the gradations of pious activities. Without pious activities, if a man is in a distressed condition, he becomes an agnostic, a communist, or sometimes like that. Because he does not firmly believe in God, he thinks that he can adjust his distressed condition by totally disbelieving in him.
Yes, therefore, Srila Prabhupada, so this PT, this Sukriti is Bhakti Unmukh Sukriti. So it is not a Sukriti out of done with some Karma Kand ritualistic activity, some normal pious activity. No, this is Bhakti Unmukha Sukriti. Only if one does not have that kind of Sukriti, one becomes agnostic. Right? So in this case also, Bhakti is the cause of Bhakti because this Sukriti is the Sukriti of Bhakti, Bhakti Unmukha Sukriti, not any other Sukriti that arises from any pious ritualistic activity.
How does one earn that Sukriti Puri?
For example, someone goes and plant a tree, someone digs a well, someone do some side type of social charitable activity. These are all pious activities. But if there is no touch of bhakti in it, then that kind of sukriti is not bhakti unmukha sukriti. That's normal sukriti. That will not make one go near to Krishna, but it will definitely give with some sort of punya, the janma, aishwarya, shruta, those kind of pious results will come. But when someone is approaching Krishna, that means that kind of sukriti is bhakti unmukha sukriti. They were the sukriti that were collected in relation to bhakti, in relation to service to some Vaishnava or to any limb of devotional service. Only then a person can approach Krishna, and that's why those are considered as sukritina.
So if let's say if some outsider person comes to temple, pays obeisances, so that will help him to get that sukriti.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you, Guruji.
Okay.
Prabhuji, I want to have an additional question in this, just to understand. Prabhuji, supposing a person is not aware, he just has a partial realization that God is a personal or the Paramatma Roop, or he does not have this full Krishna realization. Still, this Bhakti Unmukriti Sukriti will happen, like if he's helping a devotee, or because like any person who's just having the Sukriti, maybe he's not understanding that Krishna is personal, he's a person, he's a supreme personality. So this will act anyway, in case even he does not have any knowledge, it will still act. Am I right to say this?
Yes. Sukriti can be given even when a person is not aware of it. Agyat Sukriti, that is called Agyat Sukriti.
And Prabhuji, supposing he's a demigod worshipper, still this will happen. Even
so, he may be anything. He may be totally materialist. He may be atheist, maybe agnostic, whatever he may be. But as soon as there is any touch with, any contact with the limbs of bhakti, the Vaishnavas, the process of bhakti, that credit is given, that sukriti is given to that person.
So can we say that Prabhuji, temple is one of the biggest sukriti given? Like people are coming and they have so much benefit unknowingly doing deepdans, darshans, chanamrit.
Yes, but we need to understand a temple is not just a building. Temple is infused with devotion. It's made up of devotees. It's ultimately the devotees who are worshipping Krishna. Otherwise, you can go to museum and there are statues, maybe of a statue of Vishnu situated there, millions of years old, but there's no worship going on. There's no the process of limbs. So you need to understand. So ultimately, it's devotees. It's not just that physical place, because devotees are worshipping Krishna. There's seva that is going on. So in that way, even someone's home can be a temple. Wherever there is a process of bhakti is going on, wherever there are devotees staying and glorifying Krishna, worshipping Krishna.
Thank you.
But if someone comes to a place where devotees are fighting, where devotees are not treating the guest of the deities rightly, there's no prasadam distribution, or there is complacency, a lot of pride, so then people may turn away from Krishna as well, simply by seeing the behavior of the devotees, simply by seeing the dealings of people. So ultimately, it's devotees and the deities. That bhakti has to be there. The process of bhakti has to be there. If we are just the deities are there, but they are not being taken care of nicely, and then it turns into idol worship rather than deity worship. Or if some place simply becomes just a venue for having a comfortable stay and collecting some money in the name of deities, then there is no bhakti, and that place is not potent with bhakti. So a person will not be devotionally inspired in those places. So there has to be active seva going on. Okay. There were many devotees, but what happened? Many temples and so on. But what happened when Prabhupada went? Devotional service began to flow. That bhakti, he created so much of seva for Krishna. And that's how everyone was pulled into that mood of devotion service. Yeah, yes. Any other question? Yes, Chanika Mataji.
Prabhuji, in the limbs, it is there touching the deity's lotus feet should be restricted only to the initiated Vaishnavas. Like I have Jagannath Baldev and Subhadra Maharani at home and I am not initiated, I am sheltered. So is it restricted like I serve them?
In home, yes, you can. You can
Sorry?
touch. In home, we can worship the deity. You can touch the deity. You can take
Not
permission from any. Yeah, no problem.
It is written for the temple, basically touching the lotus feet of the Lord by only initiated Vaishnavas in the temple only. Like if we have deities at home, we can serve.
See, Mataji, the important point is why the initiation is not there. Initiation, the process has begun. If you've taken shelter into a spiritual master, if you're following the process of bhakti, then it's just a matter of time that initiation needs to happen. That's the first thing to take shelter of Guru. How do we worship the deities? We need mantras to worship the deities. How do we receive those mantras? Through Guru only. Is it not? So, yes, in temples, definitely. But in home, the standards are flexible. And there can be just say first initiated devotees, or there can be devotees who are not initiated and they brought the deities, they're worshipping, and that's all right. Only thing one should know, learn the process, how to take care of them nicely with the proper philosophical concept, with the proper bhava, and then it's just a matter of time the initiation should happen. It's not that after 10 years, 20 years, you're not taking initiation only. So
yes, Guruji, it's like that. Like I'm serving Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani since 8 years. So I feel like that am I doing any offenses towards them? Sometimes I cook their bhoga, I get late, and sometimes I have to leave Aarti because my dad and me are only taking care of the deities. So I was actually confused about the offenses because I feel like Lord Jagannath is waiting for me, waiting for all the bhogas and the service. Like they get attached to the services, and I feel it sometimes.
So that's a good attachment to have. And yes, in home worship, there will be situations like this. So don't worry about that. We should strive for the standards that we can follow on a regular basis in terms of punctuality and cleanliness specifically. So we should try to perform that service at a punctual time as much as possible in our daily routine. And then there will be certain situations, certain emergencies, and so those things can be then made flexible. So
Thank
it's
you,
not.
Prabhuji, for clearing my doubt so nicely. Hare Krishna. Dhanwad Pranam Prabhuji.
Yes, Kanchan, one karange.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I was just seeing the Sanskrit name of the 12 rasas that are there to have doubt in devastation and ghastliness. Rodra and Bibhatsa. I don't know which is this Bibhatsa and Rodra.
So yes, they are also the rasas. Rodra rasa is a rasa of anger. So if you read the chapter 48 of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that describes those rasas. Sometimes that is called Bhayanak Bhakti Rasa. So if, sometimes the object of fear is Krishna, or sometimes the object of fear is a demon, then for example, a devotee feels himself to be an offender at Krishna's lotus feet. And Krishna himself becomes the object of dreadful ecstatic love. Or, I am feeling that I have offended Krishna's lotus feet. So I'm meditating on Krishna, but that fear is there. So that is also one kind of rasa. And sometimes when Krishna is in danger, sometimes out of ecstatic love, friends and well-wishers of Krishna apprehend some danger for him. Some demon is coming and they're sensing there is some danger for Krishna. So that is Bhayanak rasa. That's a secondary rasa. For example is given, there's Raksharaj. So he realizes that the person he's fighting is the Supreme Lord. Then he fears having offended him. So that's one. And for example, when Krishna chastised Kaliya, then the serpent is offering prayers that I did not know your actual position, and out of ignorance I committed such horrible offenses. So that he's afraid from Krishna, and yet he's completely surrendered. So that is also one kind of rasa. And then there is other examples, when the Keshi demon came, and Yashoda Mai became very fearful just seeing the form of Keshi. Why she was fearful? Because she was very concerned about Krishna's safety. And it is said, when just by hearing that such a big demon is entering Vrindavan, Yashoda Mata became so afraid. So these secondary rasas, they collaborate and they mix with the primary rasa to give more taste in the devotional service. These are not just independent rasa. A person have a primary rasa and they work together with that primary rasa as well. So that is about Bhayanak rasa. And then there is Jugupsarati, Jugupsarasa of ghastliness. It is called as a rasa of disgust. So Srila Rupa Goswami discusses this point that Krishna is Akhila Rasamrit Murti, including the ecstatic ghastliness. So it says Krishna is not disgusting. Then how can he be the cause of this rasa? Then Srila Rupa Goswami describes that there are things such as material world, objects of sense gratification, and material body. They are the cause of ghastly rasa. So I can find some example which it's written. So let us say if a devotee is there, he or she is feeling completely disgusted with the sense gratification of material world, right? So these are specific characteristic of someone in a shant rasa, that they are experiencing complete love for Krishna, and at the same time they are experiencing complete disgust towards the sense pleasure. Just like Yamunacharya is giving his realization, Bhavati Mukha Vikara Sushchu Nishchivanam Cha. So that's there.
So it was written that when Krishna and Balram entered the arena of Mathura, then the unintelligent, like the impersonal, basically saw Krishna as universal form, and there I saw it was Bibhatsa Rasa. So was it ghastliness because universal form like shows the material and everything?
Ask again. Ask this question again, please. Sorry, I missed some part.
When Krishna Balram entered the wrestling arena in Mathura, then that verse comes, na Malla Namashni Nadam 10:30 or something. I'm bad with numbers. Anyway.
Yeah.
So uske in that when yogis etc. the unintelligent one, they saw Krishna as universal form. So there it was example was given of Bibhatsa Rasa.
Yeah.
I mean this ghastliness one. So is it because that material characteristics of Krishna also come like material form, this universal form is complete material form. So therefore this ghastliness one is coming here.
I don't know. I'm not sufficiently equipped to answer this question. And I don't wish to speculate. So I can't say for sure, Madhuri, sorry. I need to ask someone who is expert in these topics. I need to study that pastime first in order to get the context right to be able to answer. I can't say for sure right now.
Prabhuji, I was having one more doubt in the transition. When the transition comes like from sadhana bhakti, whether it is very sadhana bhakti, rupanuga, then bhav bhakti, and how it goes to prema bhakti. So I'm understanding, okay, this is sadhana bhakti, this is parts, bhav bhakti, and then prema. But like how like transition, I'm not able to like properly relate to it.
So go back to the basics. What is Bhav Bhakti? What happens in Bhav Bhakti? So check out the definition, check out the symptoms. There are 9 symptoms, 9 reliable symptoms of Bhav Bhakti that's given, and check out the definition. It causes and the Shuddh Sattva enters the heart, causes the heart to soften up, and one tastes various rasas. And we discussed what kind of rasas, those 3 kinds of desires. So when the intensity of those desires increases in one's heart, so that means it's a progression towards bhav. And when those 9 reliable symptoms appear in a life of a devotee, that's advancement towards bhav. So when you're asking about transition, yes, it's not that suddenly you wake up and you realize, okay, you are in bhav, then one day you realize you're in prema. So it's a continual process. And even if you realize, let us say this is bhav and this is prema, what happens? We do the same things, and but the mood and the depth becomes different. If you see Srila Rupa Goswami, or if you see a beginner in ISKCON, externally what they're doing the same thing. They're chanting Hare Krishna, they're standing in front of the deities, right? They're honoring Krishna Prasad. But there's a huge difference in the consciousness. So You'll be reading Nectar of Devotion today. You'll read it after 2 years and after 5 years and 10 years with all that devotional service, all that bhakti. The same sentences appear, the understanding becomes more and more deeper. The realizations becomes more, there is much more clarity of the subject matter. There is better understanding. How is that possible? These shastras can be understood only by bhakti. Right? So, yeah, so the transition can happen each day. The thing is, we need to keep moving. And bhav, ultimately, you'll see the execution is sadhana only, that bhajan kriya. Other stages, they are the result of that bhajan kriya. In terms of what you need, what we all need to execute, those are sadhana only. Now, it's not that we need to imitate those 9 symptoms of bhav bhakti. No, those are symptoms that will appear when we'll execute sadhana rightly. So I'm saying, even if, see what we are, if you carefully analyze why we are asking this question, I'm thinking that I will realize that now I'm on a level of bhav and I'll become happy just by realizing, because I'm on a level of bhav. It is still external. Ultimately, you'll be happy because of Krishna, because of loving Krishna, not with a certain acknowledgement from outside. Okay, now you are on a higher level, and your happiness and your security and that shelter will come from how to love Krishna more. And to the greater degree you love Krishna, there will be greater realization how much I love Krishna less. Tunde Tandavani Rati Mitunate, Tundavali Labte. Same realization. That I have only 2 years and only 1 term. Lord Chaitanya said that I have no love for Krishna. This is why. He said, if because I am alive, that shows I have no love for Krishna. I am still not dead, feeling separation from Krishna. This shows I have. I'm not sure if that addresses your question. I think I went a little off track while answering it, but still. You want to add something more, Mataji? Kanchan and Mataji, to this?
I realized that I'm on like very sadhana bhakti, that too toddler. But I was just thinking that in understanding this 19 chapters, so I was maybe yes, I should read that again. I was not able to get to like understand that okay, a person can achieve bhav bhakti from the stage of Vaidhi sadhana bhakti also.
Yes, and that's the goal of Vaidhi sadhana.
And from Raga Nuga also.
Yes.
And in
Yes.
the Raga Nuga, the person is already trying to follow the Ragatmika, which is like the perfected devotees.
Yes.
So, like by both, one will ultimately achieve bhava
Yes.
stage, and
Yes.
that will culminate into prema.
Yes. So there are 2 kinds of bhava, one through Vaidhi sadhana and one through Raganuga sadhana. And then there are 2 kinds of prema, from Vaidhi sadhana to bhav to prema, and then to Raganuga sadhana to bhav to prema. So Raganuga sadhana to bhav to prema is like Kevala Prem, which is found in Brajbas. And then from Vaidhi to bhav to prema is bhav with Mahatmya Gyan, that is usually found in Vaikuntha Lok and other places, where there's also an awareness of Krishna's Aishwarya Shakti, and there is love and out of there is awe and reverence also. And that is why when we chant that verse, Anarpita Charimchira Karunaya Vatirna Kalau. So that Samarpitum Unnat Ujjval Rasam Bhakti Shriyam. So when Lord Chaitanya came, what was so special about Lord Chaitanya? He came to give this Anarpita Charim Chirag, Uttam Karunaya Tirnaglo, Samarpitum Unnat Ujjval Rasam Bhakti Shriyam. So that Unnat Ujjval Ras, that Braj Bhakti, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give that, which is not easy. And all other manifestation, Vaikuntha Bhakti is there. But when Lord Chaitanya comes, then doors to Golok Vrindavan with that Kevala Prem, those are open. One can attain even that. And that is why it is said Anarpita Charim Chira. What was not given from a very long time. What was that? This Raganuga friend. Raganuga.
Just one last point.
Yeah.
That we understand that we are not on the stage of bhava and we cannot imitate the symptoms that are there at the stage of bhava. But ultimately at this position also, it is avyartha karatvam, utilization of time. At this stage also, we should try for it. Okay, we should not waste our time. Like all these things are not there, but we ultimately desire for them also and we try for it. So like this attachment to chanting Krishna, Hare Krishna, it is not there, but we try for like chanting in a better way. So it manifests on its own, yet we are trying for it knowingly. So
that is the difference. At the stage of bhav, that desire is completely spontaneous. I want to serve Krishna and I don't want to waste any moment. Right now, that desire is not spontaneous. Someone has to push me from outside. I have to remind myself. I have to constantly read and seek inspiration from outside. If left alone, I will just sleep. I would love to sleep. I would love to do all the other things, then chant my rounds. So that is the difference between bhav and a Vaidhi level. No? Bhav, that desire is completely spontaneous. Sahani stan mahachidram samoha sacha vibhrama yan muhurtam shanam vapi vasudevam na chintayet. Even a one moment where Vasudevam na chintayet is the greatest loss, greatest anomaly, greatest bewilderment in life. That will have naturally in bhav.
thank you.
Just a second. Okay, Ananta Mataji and then Vrindavan Nasibu.
Hi Krishna Prabhuji. Then in continuation with the Kanchanvarna Mataji's question, in Ragatmika, in Raganuga, everything is very spontaneous. And in sadhana, we practice the things to be done. So in Raganuga, how is it that from Raganuga to Bhav to Prem? Raganuga sounds just like everything is spontaneous. So aren't they on the level of Bhav and Prem in the beginning, or they also they pass through some stages and all those stages and they reach up to Bhav and Prem? How is it different?
Repeat your last line, please.
How is it different? Like there are 9 stages to reach up to Prem in Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. And in Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, we practice according to the rules and regulations given under the guidance of Guru. And so it's a practice. It's like awakening the dormant love. And in Raganuga, everything is very spontaneous. All the things are done spontaneously. So how is it different? But you were saying that from Raganuga, in Raganuga also, the stages are from Raganuga to Bhav and then Prem. So my question is that how is it different? How the both things are different? Because as Raganuga sounds like that's in the beginning, aren't they on the level of bhav or prem, or they also need to practice and reach up to bhav and prem gradually?
So Raganuga is also a level of sadhana only. That's not bhav. So why it is sadhana? Because that love is not fully manifested. The training is required. One has not achieved all the desire and aspirations are there. The desires are there for spontaneous love. The aspirations are there for that kind of ragatmika bhakta. But still, one does not know one's relationship with Krishna. Still, one does not. Those higher stages are not manifested yet. Asakti and bhav are not manifested yet. So that is why it is a sadhana. It is still on a level of sadhana. What is sadhana? Go to the basic definition of sadhana. Things which are executed by senses, which manifest bhava in the heart of living entity. So we say that spontaneous, but that bhava has not fully manifested in the heart. And when one executes those senses, and when execute those activities with the senses, with an internal inspiration, with a spontaneous inspiration. So even if Guru said, even if don't have instruction of Guru, both Vaidi and Raganuga both will rise up for Mangal Aarti. Maybe the Vaidi has to put an alarm and Raganuga will get it like that. But both will execute. But for one, the inspiration will be external and so on. So why it is sadhana? Because bhava has still not manifested. Bhava is dormant within one's heart. But yes, that is certainly an advanced stage. Certainly. When the beginning is from like anarth nivritti, and those are higher stages of devotional service, no doubt about that. But we need to understand there can be higher stages of Vaidi sadhana also. It is not that Vaidi is because one is beginning on Vaidi sadhana, no higher stages exist on that. Vaidi sadhana in itself is fully potent to give prem. So one can be executing Vaidi sadhana and one can be very advanced as well. But for to begin Raganuga sadhana, those, certain advancement is prerequisite. Not a beginner having an attachment to sense gratification and material desires. I can't do that because that lobha will not come.
So, okay, so that advancement in the Raganuga Bhakti is must be due to the attainment of abundant Sukriti in the previous lives, or they left Bhakti at that matured level, right?
One can begin in this life, Mataji, and can attain the stage of Raganuga and Bhav and Prem as well. It depends upon how we take it, how seriously we take it, the process. Prabhupada said one moment, just one moment, we can achieve all perfection. Sarva dharman parityaja, mam ekam sharanam raja. So it all depends what are we aspiring for in our life. So that's why when we read these when we read these subject matters, then we should not always think, okay, Bhav and Prem, they are very elevated. They are not meant for me. I am not meant for them. I'm so fallen. How can I ever attain that? These are natural to come. At the same time, one should be confident. One should know that the process of bhajan that I've received, the parampara that is I am from, I can certainly attain perfection in this life. With that confidence, one should approach the process of sadhana seriously. If I execute it rightly, if I execute it with sincerity, we can all attain bhav and prem in this life. What is Krishna prem for you? What is bhav for you? We all have, we can do this exercise. take 5 minutes and write down what is Krishna prem meant for you. What is it that you aspire for in spiritual life? How does prema stage look like? What is it that you aspire for in spiritual life? We can all say, okay, Krishna Prem. Okay, describe Krishna Prem. What is Krishna Prem mean to you as an individual, as a person? It may mean, chanting endlessly. It may mean serving. It may be, you'll have to describe. And if you don't know where to begin, read Krishna book. See how the devotees are dealing with Krishna. When Krishna, Balaram are going with their cowherd friends in Golok Vrindavan to herd their cows, what kind of play they are having. Balramji is putting his head in the lap of his friend and Krishna is massaging his legs. Someone is fanning. Some boys are playing wrestling to entertain him. All those wonderful descriptions are there. So what does that look like? To feel others' distress, that heart moves out of compassion, seeing others suffering. Par dukha dukhi. Right now, I may be par dukha sukhi, but the stage that I aspire for, that when will I actually be sad seeing others suffering? And when I'll genuinely be happy seeing others' happiness. So, to the greater degree we describe and, write down for us, we'll have a better clarity of goal. We have something to aspire for, deeper purpose to aspire for in our life by visiting those descriptions again and again.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji. This made very clear. And I have another question. We have read further regarding the offenses that may be committed, seva aparad, deities ke prati and all. And I was been reading all these in at different times. So my question is that, being a sadhaka, practicing sadhaka, we know that external cleanliness and internal cleanliness should be there. We should not commit those offenses listed out in the scriptures. But there are actually, I am not lazy in terms of observing those rules and regulations for anything. But at times, there are two terms in NOI, niyamagraha and niyamagraha. So what I feel that sometimes these rules, I will give you an example to make you clear, that it becomes niyam agra. I am captivated in so much of rules rather than doing it. Again, I'm saying I'm not lazy, but at times it becomes difficult, and you feel like, oh, this is going to be so much ritualistic. So my question is that, after giving the example, my question is that to what extent we should look into it and subject to our convenience according to the situation, time, place, and circumstances, or we must do it. So that is my concern. Now I will give you the example. Suppose these are very basic things, and this question may seem to be very awkward for the rest of the people in the class, but this is an area of concern for me, at least. It's like I had one achmani for myself in the kitchen. So whenever I used to come to the kitchen, I used to do the achman standing, and I put the tilak on while standing. I just come out after bathing, and in the dressing area I put the tilak, and there is no ample there is space, but there is no provision that I'll just lay an asana and sit down and put the tilak. And in the deity worship course, we were been told that we should do this while sitting on the asana, and we should do the achman also while sitting. Then I asked, is it really necessary to sit and do? Can't we do standing? Then devotee said, actually, we have been so habituated doing everything standing, but Shastra says that we should do while sitting. So I haven't, I couldn't change the thing for the putting tilaka, but yeah, I put that Hachmani in the altar, and when I go there, then I do the Hachmani. But again, my question comes that we should not drink anything, we should not eat or drink in front of deities, in front of altar. Then I turn little side and then I don't know whether I'm doing correctly or not correctly. And then I think that I don't know, these rules sometimes becomes niyam agra, whether I'm putting so much of stress, should I do or not do? So this is my concern.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, a very practical question, a very interesting question. How do we decide whether it's a niyam agraha or agraha? That example of Achaman. So I think Mataji, 2 points comes to me right now in response to this question. One is understanding the purpose of a practice, understanding the purpose of a rituals. There can be many rituals and many practices in devotional life. Till the time we understand why we are doing it, they might appear to be a lot of burden without knowing why we are doing it, or mechanical. So, for example, if you're putting tilak, simply putting tilak while standing and while sitting makes a huge difference. You sit down and put tilak, the mind is relatively peaceful, it's still in mode of goodness. Putting tilak, just running here and there, standing in hurry. So yes, the external ritual of tilak has been put up, yet the purpose of putting tilak was to remember Krishna, Om Keshavaya Namaha, and at 12 places to remember those form of the Lord and to hear the holy name of the Lord. That may be missed. So one thing is to understand why we are doing it. Second, it depends upon our training also. The way we are trained goes a long way. For example, when we were doing deity worship course, we all were given a Achman cup. And every day there was an assessment out of 10, how clean is your Achman cup? So till the time, every single day we have to come early, we have to clean our Achman cup, we have to keep those Achman cup at a certain place till the time our shlokas and mantra class is going on. And after that, we have to recollect. And the assessor, meanwhile, our other classes are going on, they would come and you will see the number on, there were certain numbers on which we keep the Achman. And we would be given marks, and those were counted in the main assessment. The point is that sanskara became so strong that after that, even when you see even a slight spot on Achman cup in anywhere, you cannot bear it. You have to actually clean it. But if someone is not used to it, for example, there are persons who are so clean and they can immediately notice even a subtle amount of uncleanliness. But if a person is always living in an unclean and a shabby place, they will, after a certain time, they would start feeling it's so normal to, that uncleanliness will stop bothering them. And they won't even realize that it is uncleanliness. So then it is also a question of how we train ourselves, how we train ourselves in purity and in subtlety. That's another thing. And then third, there is how do I put up in a right? I'm choosing the right words. We need to. It's not that Krishna is going to judge us each time whether you put the tilak while you were standing or while you were sitting. Or oftentimes we make it a very big deal in terms of judging others. Oh, how come you put tilak while standing? That means you're a insincere devotee, and that is an aparadh, and you'll not make any advancement. We stretch it so far in terms of other person, and but when we see it in our own context, we take it. We give all sorts of rationalization. I did it because the situation was like that. So that should not happen. And once, twice, thrice, some things here and there, that's are still manageable. But if it is happening on a regular basis, on a daily basis, and if it is bothering our consciousness, then perhaps it's the time to take care of that, to give detail to that. That means you value that thing ultimately, if it is bothering in your consciousness. So maybe take out time and attend to that. Let us try doing proper achaman after sitting. If you do it in a right way, certainly it impacts our consciousness in a much stronger way. But if you think it's not possible for me, then don't do it. But then don't expect the same result also. If you're not doing any activity, you won't get the result of it. But you don't have to be so much bothered by it. It's all right. Just do the service, whatever at whatever you can do at this stage in your life, do that. And at the same time, our mood can be, how do I increase the nuances? How do I take it to the next level? Let me do it for first 6 months in this way. And after that, go back once you are stable, and at least you're doing Achaman. That's a wonderful thing. That's a good start. Earlier, you were not doing Achaman, but now you're doing Achaman. That's a wonderful thing. So celebrate that. And if you're progressive, if you're no, I am not satisfied by it, I need to go ahead, then move ahead and try performing Achaman while sitting down, while chanting all the mantras nicely. Then it's this one activity of Achaman is so powerful and so potent. It can just, it is it can lead to complete purification of our mind, subtle purification. So yes, Mataji, those thoughts comes to me. First, understand the why. Don't make even a big issue of that, but you won't get the result of that. How do we don't judge others on these parameters and excuse yourself, rather maybe do it the other way around. And yeah.
So is it
And
fine
it's a
when you
matter of
are
training also. And it's a matter of training. How do we train ourselves? Yeah.
so when deities are asleep in the afternoon and in the morning, then you can do Ashman in the front of the altar also, because the curtain is there. But when they are not asleep and you have to do again when you are coming from the bathroom, then is it fine then if I turn little and then I do? Because in the front of deities we cannot sip or we cannot eat or drink anything. It's also a aparadh.
Yeah,
Because
it's not
I did
not
it
an
on
aparadh, but yeah, you can make whatever practical adjustment is necessary based upon how your altar is situated and what is practical for your home situation like that. It's all right.
like there are 2-3 things also coming into my mind. I have altar, and besides the altar, I have a table on which I have put Tulsi Maharani picture and Prabhupada's and Guru Maharaj's picture.
Meanwhile, I've shared a feedback form to all of you. I had requested for my previous unit also, but I did not receive any response. I'm not sure whether any feedback form was given for Bhagavad Gita unit or other unit, but I would like to. I would like honest feedback from all of you. So please fill this form. I would be very grateful. And please be 200% honest with it. That's all. Okay. You don't have to pretend anything. Just write what is authentic for you. Okay. Yes, Mataji. Please, you were saying something.
Yeah. So on the side altar, I have a setting for Tulsi, keeping Tulsi plant also. And when I circumambulate the Tulsi plant, it is that I cross a little bit. I touch. Excuse me a minute.
Okay, no problem. Yeah. Okay, Prabhu. Those who have to leave, please leave. But take this link with you and fill it whenever you are able to within 24 hours. Okay. Yes, Vanshivat Prabhu. Oh, sorry, Vrindavan Vasi Prabhu. Sorry, not Vanshivat. Sorry.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, 2-3 questions, but before I forget, Prabhuji, are we planning to have any next session you are planning to take in the nearby coming days? Or are you already having something and we can join in? Or
I'm not sure. There is one batch in Pakistan that I need to take online in January. Then there is another one. I need to confirm dates. And then not sure, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, how can we know your programs and the topics so it will be easier for us?
I have no such system as such.
Okay,
I take shloka memorization classes every day. We are learning Bhagavad Gita chapter 7 now. If you want,
it is every day, Prabhuji?
Monday to Friday, 6:30 to 7 p.m.
Okay, Prabhuji.
So we are doing it for last 2 years. And in this module, which started 2 weeks back, we begin our journey to memorize complete Bhagavad Gita, the Sanskrit verses. So we started with chapter 7. So that's one.
And you were telling me that some kind of Bhagavad Gita was coming up.
Yeah, we are developing an online course module on Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, that's one thing. That's one project we are working upon. It's still in the process.
And this group in January, Pakistan will be kind of Bhagavad Gita learning?
No, that's Updeshamrit, Nectar of Instruction.
Okay, Prabhuji. So in case you wish to join, Prabhuji, how should we approach?
I need to ask the coordinator.
Yeah, if it's allowed.
It's not my decision.
Great, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, now second point, Prabhuji, continuing with Mataji's question, I want to ask my question, but just Prabhuji, are we not allowed to do Achman in front of deities? We do in front of Tulsi Maharani, we do while Guru Puja, and we have seen some persons also do. Yeah, when we start worship, we do in the front of altars also. So
we do it usually outside Garbhagriha. We perform outside the altar room, and then we enter the Garbhagriha. We don't do it inside the Garbhagriha, but other places it's okay.
But we do when it's Prabhupadaji's puja and Tulsi puja, that we do.
See, all other functions it's normal to do. When there is a yajna, there's an abhishek going on, and on the little side we can do that. But it's a mandatory to perform Achaman before entering Garbhagriha. That subtle
Understood.
purification is absolutely necessary. One cannot enter altar room without performing that subtle purification.
Okay, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, now I've seen, to be very honest with me, when I hear classes, I am very charged up for 2, 3, 4, 5 days, 6, 7 days. But then gradually I go down. I have understood, especially from this session, that initially I was thinking that I was working some whatever Lakshmi has to earn, maybe use it in some service of the Lord and devotees. And I think that was my criteria. But understanding that, okay, if it is under Guru instructions, it's good. But these are the limbs of bhakti, which I need to practice in case I have to evoke bhava or in case I have to advance. So this has come very strongly to me, especially by this class. I've got this understanding. Normally, I think I was doing what was my daily routines from before, and I never happened to think of changing it also. But after this attending the session, very strongly it has come to me that I have to practice the limbs of devotional service. Though I knew, okay, these are the limbs, but maybe that was a priority for me or natural for me, and this was not a priority. So therefore, I have understood, no, I have to give this a priority now. The priority is changed definitely.
That's
So
why
Prabhuji,
Prabhupada specifically said among all instructions, chanting of 16 rounds are the most important. He never said that grastas are meant to just, earn and contribute, and that's it. He made it 16 rounds mandatory for everyone. Why? Because that's a process of sadhana. Without that, giving one's money to Krishna, it's glorious, supremely glorious. Yet, it's not a replacement of chanting. Ultimately, that's yeah.
I have understood this, heard also many times that these are the 5 potents of sadhana. Then I also understood now it has to be practiced. Just by hearing it, it won't work. So you have to practice. But now how to be determined to make sure and even understanding that you have again you said why you're doing it. So understanding if I do it, it will be better for me. I will advance. I will attain love of God, or it will please Krishna. Understanding all those things, but still understanding that I have some sinful proclivities or I have some material attachments, but still I need to be determined to practice this process, like Mangal Arti, maybe chanting attentively early morning, reading, hearing, whatever seva I'm given. So how will this, I'll be like giving this a priority. Right now, the mind frame after hearing is different, but it does not go down. So I'm determined, as well as I put in this as a priority in my life. How will this come to be? Or what should I do so I really do this? Just not hearing, just I do it.
So, that is the price that we all have to pay to purchase bhakti. Krishna bhakti, rasa bhavita mati, kriyatam yadi kutopi labhyate. Janma koti su. What's the next line? Kriyatam yadi kutopi labhyate. Tatrapi lolyam mulyam api ekalam. Janma koti sukritair na labhyate. That lolyam is that intense greed is the price to purchase bhakti. So whatever we are doing to ultimately attain that lolyam, through which. So initially that lolyam would not be there, right? But we may know intellectually, we may know philosophically, but that natural taste for serving Krishna may not be there. It may be there in a very lesser degree. In some devotees, based upon advancement, it may be there in a greater degree. Whatever degree it is present in my life, I need to start from that place without comparing with anyone. To be completely honest with myself, I need to protect that taste that I have got for Krishna, and I need to nourish and cultivate it. That cultivation is not a one-day process. It's a Nityam Bhagavad Seva. It's a process that we do it each and every day. How do I preserve and nourish that inspiration to do this? Oftentimes, especially in conditioned state, I operate on the basis of my moods. I feel good, I do this. I don't feel anything, I skip that. But we fail to understand that our mood can also be developed through a practical activity. I think that if I'll be inspired, then I will chant attentively. But it is true other way around also. If you chant attentively, then the enthusiasm and inspiration will come. If I'll feel like, then I will sit down and read Shastra. If I don't feel like, I won't do it. I will do something else. But by reading Shastra, that inspiration to read further comes. Oftentimes people ask, how do I chant nicely? By practicing to actually chanting. How do you learn music? By actually, practicing music. How do you learn swimming? By actually swimming, going in the swimming pool. So how do I increase my spirit of service? By practicing service. How do I increase my taste in Shastra? By actually reading. How do I increase taste in chanting? By actually chanting. There's no other secret. It's open formula. Now I need to preserve that inspiration, and that inspiration and nourishment comes only through Vaishnava Sadhu Sangha. There is no other way. There is no other secret to spiritual life. There is only one and one and one, declared again and again and again. That is Sadhu Sangha. By hearing, by doing these things in association of devotees. So this means I need to cultivate wonderful relationship with devotees. And that is where the challenge comes most of the times. Because our faith is also determined by how much I trust devotees. If that trust is broken, if that it can obstruct my faith in devotional service and devotees and Krishna as well. So that requires maturity, how to see good in devotees, how to still seek inspiration, and how to have wonderful friendships. So then all relationships are required, one with the seniors, some relationship with equals, and some with juniors. With seniors, we aspire to hear from them, to serve them. With equals, there needs to be some good friendship in which we both have similar tastes, similar aspirations. And then we need to go out and help others by sharing what we have received in life. So, Name Ruchi, Jive Daya, Vaishnava Seva. That's the sum total of everything. Name Ruchi, that means self-development. I need to work on my own personal sadhana. Vaishnava Seva means I need to work upon the relationship with the devotees. And then there is Jivedaya, that means my contribution to the society, contribution in others' life. So you can draw a triangle, 3 vertex. One is Name Ruchi, other is Vaishnav Seva, and the third is Jivedaya. All 3 has to be in place in order to keep us moving. If you are all only working in Name Ruchi and you ignore the other 2, it won't go for long. If you're only working for Vaishnav Seva but ignore the other 2, it won't work for long. Or if you're only working for Jivedaya but not have sufficient strength of Name Ruchi or certain good relationship with devotees where we can take shelter, it won't work for long. All 3 has to be there. So therefore, there is a morning program that is your personal Name Ruchi time. Then there are Vaishnav Sangha, that is Vaishnav Seva, that is have a relationship with devotees. And then there is a service part, Seva part, Prachar, that is Jivataya. So now how do I design my life around these? Is I need to intelligently see what are my priorities, how much time I can give. If I cannot do it completely, let me start from whatever place I can start. If I cannot go on marathon every day, let me go 3 days a week. If I cannot go 3 days a week, let me go once a week. If I cannot go once a week, let me go once in a month. Start somewhere. In my sadhana, how do I take my sadhana forward? What are the books I wish to complete? Decide that. Whatever, how do I want to work upon my japa? How do I want to work upon my deity worship? Or, all those 5 forms. Write something and do that. And same with Vaishnav Seva. So it's not complicated, and yet I just need to decide and take some step forward. Now many times it will happen in our life. I decide something and I'll stop after doing it for 5 days, 6 days, and I may become discouraged again. But we can even take, if I have a regular pattern of starting and giving up something, then I can intelligently engage with it. Okay, I know if I'm deciding something, I know I will continue for 1 week, and that's fine. Then I'll give myself that I'll continue with 1 week, and after that I'll take a break for 3 days, and then I'll do it for some. I mean, it's just a matter of designing based upon our nature. Rather than always cribbing our nature, oh, why am I like this? We need to learn how to engage with our nature in order to creatively, intelligently, so as to utilize it to keep moving forward, rather than just crying and sitting back at one place and then just giving up. That doesn't work. And we need to see based upon our own weakness what works for us. For example, if you start doing some exercise session, and you'll stop after 3 days, but there can be person, if there is some teacher and if there is some accountability partner, if I do it with some partner, I will do it for long. But if I do it alone, I may give up. So better design something in such a way that, for example, I would personally never spend time to learn verses. But I know if I have to teach verses, I learn verses myself. So I started a shloka learning batch. So that the motivation was because our devotees contribute financially, because so many devotees come who are willing, and I need to show up to them. So therefore I learn. If I was not taking, I would have never given that time. So based upon what would work for you, design something intelligently and creatively. Okay, one last question, Rishabh Mitra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. The question is from chapter 2, second paragraph. Here it is. Srila Rupa Goswami suggests that the person eligible for Krishna consciousness or devotional service can be classified by his particular taste. So, what it means to say, Hapuji?
So, what is the eligibility to take up devotional service?
The first stages of devotion, chapter 2.
Yeah. So, Adav Shraddha, that is the beginning. Adav Shraddha, what is Shraddha? Attraction to Krishna. So, if someone has attraction to Krishna, qualified to take devotional service. That's the first stage. Doesn't matter how much sinful one, it doesn't matter what the background is, what the gender is. If there is even a slightest attraction towards Krishna, that's the beginning of devotional service.
What do you mean? Can be classified by his particular taste? What does this mean?
classification, which stage you are, how advanced you are. A person who's in a higher stage will have more of that attraction to Krishna. The taste for devotional service. I want to chant my rounds. I want to serve Krishna. I want to glorify Krishna. I want to know more about Krishna. That taste. If it is in a lesser degree, it can be in higher degree. So these 9 stages of devotional service, Adav, Shraddha, Sadhu, Sang, Bhajan, Kriya, and Arthnivritti, these are simply the stages of the taste for devotional service, the faith and the attraction to Krishna. Higher stages, this taste is more and more intense. That faith is more and more condensed. Okay. So I have received only 2 response of the feedback form. Please, I'm waiting. All of you fill it now. Okay. I'm just waiting. Please, it will take hardly 3-4 minutes for you. All of you have the link in the chat section. Please spare 2-3 minutes. Otherwise, it just hangs on, lingers on. I'm waiting right now before closing this unit. Please don't leave without just wait for final remarks, then only leave. Maybe you can raise your hand if you have filled this form.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, please.
Prabhuji, I would like to say something.
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Before we close this session, on behalf of all other devotees, I would like to say today we all are aware that today is our last class with you. I'm sure this is the last one, but not the least one. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for inspiring us, guiding us throughout this whole NOD session. I would especially like to highlight the doubt session. You gave us ample amount of time and you heard every question calmly and patiently. And I'm sure each and every question of all the devotees were replied prominently. You need to wake up early for attending Mangala Aarti and attempt all other services. Still, you never complained about the timing of the class, extending till 10 p.m. Solving doubts, answering questions. Even the entire NOD was during Kartik. This really shows your true dedication towards spreading knowledge. Every class in the beginning had a recap session which helped us recall all the theories you taught in previous class. So thank you once again so much, Prabhuji, and I would like to invite other devotees to take a moment to clarify and appreciate Prabhuji's dedication and teachings. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. No other, there's no glorification or anything happening. Whatever you need to write, please mention in the feedback form. And it's both ways, Prabhu. I'm also very, very thankful to all of you for giving me an opportunity to speak and glorify Srila Rupa Goswami and on those teachings. And I'm very, very happy and honored to share my learnings as a service to my own seniors and my own teachers who have so patiently invested in me. And I hope the discussions and your individual studying of Bhakti śāstrī unit will assist you in serving Krishna and in loving Krishna in more wonderful ways. So thank you very, very much. And please excuse me if any of my words, attitudes, body language in any way has inconvenienced you. And I seek blessings of all the Vaishnavas. And yeah, thank you very, very much. I'm equally struggling with although I have shared many things and I've said many things, but know that I am on the same journey of Bhajan Kriya and Anarth Nivritti. So I need blessings of all of you for my own spiritual life as well. Okay, thank you very much. Please, I'm still waiting. Please do fill in the feedback form. Yes, Priya Mataji, you have your hand up.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you said that you have to raise hand if you had filled the form. So I
Okay,
was just confirming I had filled the form.
thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Please bless us.
my best prayers for all of you, and I need your blessings as well and prayers as well. So Mukund, Priya Mataji, you have asked, although we have closed our entry 1 week back, if you still want to join, you'll have to catch up a little. Maybe Kanchan Gaurangi Mataji can help you. Yeah, Mataji knows the process. So you can get in contact with Kanchan Mataji and or share your contact number. 6:30 to 7 IST, Monday to Friday. That much commitment you would need. Without that commitment, there is no real benefit of attending that. If you can give that commitment Monday to Friday, 6:30 to 7, only then join us. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. Prabhuji,
Thank
one
you.
more thing I said, the slides what you were sharing, is it possible for us to get?
That I said in the beginning, I won't be sharing the slides, but let me just convert them into PDF and maybe share them with you, with all of you. Just remind me after 24 hours.
Prabhuji, I tried to take screenshot, but it was sometime it's too fast that I
I'll
couldn't
share
take.
the PDF version. I'll convert it into PDF and I'll then share with all of you.
Thank you.
So that Nectar of Devotion classes, that link that I shared with all of you, that will stay open for 1 more week. After that, I'll close that link. If you want to download or anything, or if you want to hear those classes in any way, we have 1 more week to complete. After that, I'll close that link. You can download at your own systems if you want to hear it at a later stage. But I'm just saying those won't be accessible after 1 week.
Okay, Prabhuji, the lectures are in the Prabhupada Vani, but the questions will not be there, right? And
I'll just close that link. Nothing would be accessible from that link. Yes, those lectures are publicly available. You need to download from those sources.
Okay, so the questions part that you said, that won't be there.
Yeah, that won't be there. Yeah.
So we can download or we can take the screenshot if we cannot complete.
Whatever you want. I usually share for the duration of the course for devotees to engage with that. And then I close them.
Okay, Prabhuji, I will do that. I tried to hear a few ones, but I couldn't attend the questions. I just want to say humble gratitude. When I finished Bhakti śāstrī Hindi, Unit 3 of the Hindi batch of Bhakti śāstrī, you took it, and it was super amazing. I was just sharing with Divalila Mataji, who was my batchmate in that group as well. So during that time, I used to read each word of Bhagavad Gita many times. I did so much of Swadhyay, and I could get, I used to ask so many questions to you and to the previous tutor also. But in the next, in the English, so when you finished the session and we had a break of some days, and then I shared with Gopika Mataji, who was the earlier batchmate, Manika. I think I'm missing something, because the missing point was that I won't be getting any more association. So that was the missing point. And I don't know what was the divine plan of Krishna that I joined this batch, and Krishna fulfilled my desire to be associated with you, to learn few units under your guidance. So this is what Krishna reciprocated and helped me to be in your guidance. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for your kindness. Thank you for sparing so much of your time, and thank you for taking up the study of Nectar of Devotion. That's one of the most glorious things that we can do in our life. Thank you very much, Mazri. Okay, I think we left the most important part. That is OBA question, or that is already given to all of you. Do you know what you have to do in OBA?
Yeah, it was given 2 days back.
Okay, what is the question?
The first question.
Only one question.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
To explain, I cannot find. Okay. Yeah, in your words, explain the definition of your devotional service with reference to the Swarup and Tataksha Lakshan. Prabhupada's comments and examples and.
Okay. Try to do all questions at your own end. The more you write, the better you'll be able to understand.
You said the same thing for the Hindi batch as well, but my problem is that if I don't get the assignment, I don't try to even attempt for it. So
No
how
problem.
to create that habit?
I still wanted to give that thought. Don't just limit yourself for one question. Try to engage with all questions. Of course, there will be no assessment and all, but marks are not our goal. Our goal is learning and serving the Shastra. We can learn more. Okay, then we'll take leave. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu ki jai, Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Please do share this link with the group, because I still received only 12 response. I would want each one of you to.
Prabhuji, I felt, so it was quick, the time was short. But Prabhuji, I will be very honest to admit, I have really learned a lot. My lot of conceptions have got clear. Especially, as you said, I had this idea I'm not able to do, but your words and your guidance have given me this thing. You need to work what works for you, and you have to start from somewhere. So I mean, a lot of thoughts have like really got into my head. I really hope I follow. So I'm really very, very grateful to you, Prabhuji. I'm being very honest. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Please give me your blessings also. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Hari. Wish you all the very, very best in your future lives and in all your different ventures in service to Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
I can be of any service.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
But Prabhuji, you will be teaching for the Bhakti Vaibhav course also?
No, Mataji, I haven't done Bhakti Vaibhav myself. I dropped out after midway of second canto. I need to complete that myself. So perhaps, please, you do the course, you teach, and I'll join your classes.
No problem. We can wait up to that time when you finish your Bhakti Vaibhav.
Prabhuji, I wanted to, I will of course hear the classes you gave for the Bhakti, for the Bhagavad Gita, but Prabhuji, I really wanted to understand Bhagavad Gita. So if you are anytime doing this Bhagavad Gita and other like nectar of instruction, so I would really like to be a part of it, if it's possible.
You know Bimla Prasad Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So Prabhuji is coordinating for ISKCON Pakistan batch. Maybe you can coordinate, ask him directly.
Okay, Prabhuji. And it really started from when, Prabhuji?
1st December, I think. Or 1st January.
1st January. Okay, Prabhuji.
So, but that will be, I mean, that will be in Hindi or Urdu, so as to say.
Hindi we can understand.
Do you know Urdu also?
No, although I'm from a Multani background, but not really. But I love Urdu, no doubt.
Yeah, I would also like to join the ESO class.
I'm gradually taking more interest in Urdu.
Just because of that session?
No, I generally, I'm lately, someone sent some sorts of poetries in Urdu. I really liked it. Sanskrit, Bangla, Urdu, all of these I aspire to learn within this lifetime. Okay. Hari Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, we would really want, I just don't know how to say, but I really want to read your notes because I was continuously seeing that your hand didn't stop.
No, it was not. I just wanted to understand, so I don't forget next time.
It will be a great thing. We can share your notes with us so that
I hope I'm able to understand my handwriting myself.
I will understand, don't worry. You just share. This was very inspiring that you were continuously writing, because my problem is that if I write one thing, then I just, cannot hear the next thing. So I
know. I just write because I feel I will really lose I will forget. So if something stays, the only point is I don't read it again. This is my negative. If I read again, then it will be better. But I hope this time Prabhuji has really helped us to understand. And I really felt this was like kind of a science we have to understand. So this Anarabhaksha Shunyam has to come in every activity before we start. If we think, I think it will really make a lot of difference.
Srila Prabhupada said, remember means write it down. Whatever we remember, whatever we write down, only that part we remember. Rest everything. Usually in Kali Yuga. And thank you to everyone who could switch on your cameras and you could give up your comfort zone and and be on the camera. Thank you. It made class much more interesting and much more personal.
At least
really very, very grateful, Prabhuji. It cannot be said in words. But for a spiritual life, I think we are very, very grateful, Prabhuji.
I'm also very grateful. Thank you for all your kindness, love and affection. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So please share your notes. How can you share? If you can just make a PDF for this fallen person. Actually,
just showing you, you will not understand one thing. Not understand even one thing. I myself don't know, because anyway, but I really feel
that's our worry. That's our worry.
Krishna willing, he can give us back the remembrance. And I hope we have the classes. So